I, I've been seeing a lot. So the House GOP put out their budget proposal and their tax proposals this past week, and I saw a lot of TikToks from Trump supporters, you know, like owning the libs, I guess, by saying that it includes that their tax proposal includes no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. The bill did not include anything about no tax on Social Security, so 2 for 3, I guess. But as is always the case, none of them took the time to read the legislation or to read anything about the legislation that had been proposed by Republicans in the House. And so the whole point of no tax on tips and no taxes on overtime was to increase people's, take-home pay. If you get paid twice a week or twice a month, the whole point was to increase the amount of your actual paychecks. Well, the language that Republicans included, your tips and your overtime are still fully taxed. Your paychecks are not going to increase at all. What they are doing and how they wrote this and how they structured this is that at the end of the year, after you've paid a full year's worth of taxes on your tips, on your overtime, at the end of the year, Republicans will give you a deduction for the amount of the taxes that you've already paid for that whole year on your tips, on your overtime, up to a certain point. And so I think the cutoff for overtime is like, if you made 80 grand a year or 100 grand a year if you're single, and if you earned an amount of overtime that puts you above that cap, then you don't get that deduction at all for any of your overtime. And same with tips. It's like they put caps on it. So it's like not only is your normal paychecks not going to increase at all because of this. If you earn over a certain amount, you won't even qualify for the deduction at the end of the year. And, but again, it's like the MAGA chuds don't read. They certainly, and if they do, they certainly don't read past a headline. And if they did, they would read this and, contemplate it and understand it. And if they understood it, they'd be pissed. They'd be pissed at House Republicans. But they're not, because they don't read past a headline. And so they're like, yeah, man, no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. It's in the bill. And they didn't read the details. They don't understand the details at all. You're still going to be fully taxed on all of your tips and all of your overtime. And maybe, possibly, you might qualify for a deduction for that amount at the end of the year, after you've already paid taxes all year on all of your tips and all of your overtime pay. So, yeah. Read past the headline, guys.